Okay, do you guys remember the Last Days of Left Eye documentary? I watched it as a kid. I remember being a little mortified about the ending when they show her actually swerve off the road. As you remember, she's on this 30-day retreat, spiritual journey, and some strange things happens to her while she's on this retreat. Rewatching it as an adult, first of all, I cannot believe they actually televised this documentary. But second of all, some things that stood out to me, you see her driving, you see her look at the camera, she seems off. The people in the back seat seem a little terrified. Leading up to the accident, the car she was in actually hit a young boy that ran in front of the car, ended up dying, and his last name was actually Lopez, just like Left Eye. And one thing I didn't even catch on to when I was a kid was that she had his shoes. I'm not sure if the family did her these shoes. It made me feel a little bit strange. Talks about a lot in the documentary of not being afraid of death and transformation. And we have to remember she was also working with Dr. Sebi. Watching this again as an adult, watching the scene of the accident didn't sit right with me. I don't know. I have two theories here. On one hand, it seemed like she knew what she was going to go and do. She planned to swerve off the road. But I don't know if it's because she's going to do something to herself. But I don't know if it's in the way that we think. But it's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. I mean, to film up until this point, which I understand they were filming the whole time, but the image of the crash does not really coincide with like the fact that there were people that actually were alive after this. And why haven't we heard from these people? Where are they now? How did they manage to survive this terrible crash and Left Eye was the only one? Also, the newspaper article says that she was the only one wearing a seatbelt, but she wasn't wearing a seatbelt. I don't want to take away from what may have necessarily really happened to this girl, but something just does not seem right with me. The video, the documentary itself, the way she looks at the camera, the way she swerves and it glitches. I understand it could have been some editing that took place after the fact, but it doesn't seem like it was that impactful for the aftermath in the picture that we see. And if you follow Left Eye in her story, she talks about not wanting to be controlled. She talks about not really feeling being in the industry anymore like that, wanting to do her own thing. And I have to wonder if she staged this to get out of her contract. At one point, she actually went missing, and she ended up, instead of going to something she had that she was supposed to be doing with TLC, she ended up driving across country to Honduras. She didn't tell anybody. People could not find her. They thought she was missing. And she even reacts and she's like, oh my God, like people really thought I was missing. Like almost like, wow, like a tester, like it worked. But then she realized the backlash that she got from her fans and how they were really hurt. I don't know, you guys. I'm really going back and forth with this. Something about this documentary now, I mean, back then as a kid, obviously I believe that something happened to her, but watching it now, it's almost like she has a smirk on her face. Like, it's what are the odds that this is caught on tape? It's like almost too perfect.